everybody. Welcome to Conversations with Deborah Franklin. And of course, I am your host, Deborah Franklin. Happy MLK holiday. Y'all, I'm so excited about today. He's got so many things to reflect on. But most of all, know that we are here. We are tonight celebrating someone that had really laid the way, paved the way, and to think he would have been 90 years old on his birthday. That is amazing, because then I started to put two and two together. And I know I'm doing a little longer intro than I normally do, but I was like, my God, my grandfather is older than him. My grandfather is actually 94 years old. So, you know, when I go back home, I told y'all I owe y'all a full interview with my pawpaw. So you already know civil rights movement is definitely going to be in that conversation. Well, all right, guys, we're going to take a quick break. We'll be right back with you with Motivational Moment. Y'all, as you know, I have been posting up that this week starts the celebration of my birthday. No, today is not my birthday, but Thursday is. So what I put on there, I'm just so transparent, and I'm so shallow today because it's my birthday week. So if you want, what I want for my birthday is for everybody that likes and loves the show to go ahead and support our show. Y'all, we had somebody to support us last week, and next week next show I'm going to be giving a shout out to everybody that supports us. And then, hey, Sierra, yes, Lord, my God, I got a lot of former students on tonight, y'all, but it's all good. It's all good. But one thing that I wanted to talk about tonight in our motivational moment is that when you approach a birthday, and it's like, I'm like really tripping because honestly, growing up, I never thought that, I thought 2019, 2020, 2020, whatever was like so far off. I was like, we're not going to see the 20s, born in 1970. I'm good. I'm born in 1970. So do the math. You can do the math and that'll tell you how old I am and what birthday is coming up. But I'm excited because a lot of women my age didn't get to see 49 or accomplish so many things, a lot of things that I have accomplished. So one thing that I wanted to sit back and think about when you start getting around birthdays, you start feeling a certain kind of way. You start thinking about your acquaintances, the people that you hung out with, the things that you've done, the places that you've gone. And I started thinking, like, why do we need to reflect? And then I found an article and it said 5 reasons to reflect. 1, to take a break. 2, to evaluate your accomplishments. 3, celebrate your victories. 4, identify your mistakes. And I added this. 4, not only do you identify your mistakes, but then you evaluate what lessons have you learned. And then 5, check your future direction. I was like, my gosh, that makes so much sense. And I think this is why it's kind of cool being born at the beginning of the year, because everybody else is making New Year's resolutions and trying to figure out what they want to do next. And then my thing is, I'm just doing me, because at the end of the day, whatever you reach a milestone in your life, you still look back to reflect, not look back to stay there, but to look back and reflect. And one thing that I found, y'all know I got to give you a little scripture tonight. So John 8:32 says, and you will know the truth, and the truth will set you free. And that's why tonight I really want to look at that whole identify your mistakes and lessons learned. Because when you know the truth, because you never know the truth unless you have something to compare it to. And especially when you start doing self-reflection. So many times we don't take the time to look back at ourselves and recognize the things that we've gone through. And a lot of you know that I had problems with dealing with self-esteem, dealing with the wondering what could have happened, the shoulda, coulda, wouldas, and the maybe, sorta, kindas. And I went through that this weekend because I was like, oh my God, something happened where I heard about some people that I knew were hanging out and doing some things. And then I was like, well, wow, they still do this? They didn't call me? Yeah, I felt some kind of way. Then I went home I was trying to get something together, and those that may be logged in, y'all know we tried to have, tried to connect, try to do something, it didn't happen. And then, if you have those issues with those self-esteem issues, and it's not like they ever go away, but you learn how to control them. And so I started, you start playing in your mind, what I do? Why they do this? How come I do this? Why did I do that? And I said, you know what? Forget this. I'm getting ready to have my movie day. I'm getting ready to order me a movie. I'm getting ready to eat me some popcorn, and I'm just gonna chill. I'm not gonna worry about what's going on. And lo and behold, the very next morning, this flyer popped up on my timeline, and it had my picture talking about going to Cuba for the summer immersion for the immersion conference. Y'all, I felt some kind of way. I was so overjoyed, and I felt so empowered, because at the end of the day, I had to reflect on that a lot of people come in your life for a season. They come in your life to help you reach a particular point. They come into your life to show you certain things, and actions happen, and you learn from those things, and you build on those things, and you learn to move forward because of the actions that you've had to experience. You cannot be a help to anybody if you've never experienced anything, or should I say, if you've never learned from those experiences. Because as you get to those different milestones, because I already told them, honey, 50, when I turn 50, y'all, it's going to get shut down, because I've already said that 50, I'm going to be 50 and with no filter. And then some people started laughing at me because they said, you already don't have a filter. I said, if I don't have a filter now, wait till I turn 50. Baby, it's going to be no holds barred. I don't care. I'm just coming for you straight. And I'm going to say it with a straight face, because at the end of the day, I'm going to be in reflecting mode, because at that point, I feel like grown people should be grown people. Even though I operate in this now, but so many times people want to sugarcoat things. I don't know how to sugarcoat. All I know how to do is come straight forward. And a lot of my students, and I have some on watching tonight, will tell you, I never let them stay in a certain situation. I would always tell them, give yourself 24 hours to go through and have an issue, go through and basically, when you go through that 24 hours, that's your time to get it. Go ahead, cry, stomp, do whatever you got to do. But after that 24 hours, you got to get back into the world. You got to get back into moving. You've got to get back into being who you have been called to be. You cannot let situations take you down. You cannot let situations turn you around. You have got to learn how to move forward and jump ahead of the line, because I promise you, I'm going through some things right now. I told somebody just today, you're going to have to help me, help you, help us take it to another level. And then y'all, the flyer messed me up. Then I got a phone call. I got a phone call from a new mentor that I have. Actually, she don't know that I've been letting her mentor me for a long time via social media. And I have to give out a shout to LaTanya Moore. Y'all, when I tell you she has blessed my spirit, she has rocked my socks off. She has helped me take it to another level in what I'm doing for conversations. Y'all, this is what happens when you do live TV. You get notifications when you don't want them, and they just start going off, and your whole phone just start doing stuff, and you don't even know why it's doing it. Because right now I'm getting ready to cut this joint off. All right, there we go. And I have to give a shout out. LaTanya Moore has been an inspiration to me as a woman pursuing her dreams and not afraid or intimidated to share it. She will and has given me tools to take conversations to be on a global network and on a global platform. I'm looking forward to where this connection will take me. And the reason why I say that is because so many women in business are so scared to share what they know about what they are doing and how they are doing it. And one thing about that she does is that she doesn't have a problem with saying, giving you the recipe. And she doesn't have a problem with sharing the knowledge that she knows. So my shout out and part of this motivational moment tonight goes out to women business owners. owners. Y'all, tonight's motivational moment is all about you. You have got to reflect on where you've gone, where you're going, and what you're doing. You have got to reflect on the situations of who helped you take your business to the next level. And you have to learn now to be big enough to do what you know to do, because this pie is big enough for everybody to get a slice. You do not have to be intimidated or feel like you can't trust women to take it to help them take it to another level, because nobody wants to take what you got. You just got to be ready to share what you're doing. And think about this. As any good cook will follow the recipe initially, but guess what? In the end, they make the recipe their own, because you're going to have to get the recipe of how to make things well, but then you're going to start tweaking it to be what you want it to be, to have the taste and the flavor that you are looking for. So y'all, get ready to take things to the next level, and we'll be right back with you with our first guest. We are back live on the Conversations with Deborah Franklin, and tonight I have to share something. One of our sponsors is sponsoring a trip to Niagara Falls, Canada. They going on the Canada side, y'all. I'm so excited about this trip. It's going to be June 14th through the 17th, and it's only $6.99 per person per double occupancy. Y'all have got to check this out. The email to reach them is going to be handsfreetravel@gmail.com. And guess what? To secure your spot, it is only $50. $50 to secure your trip for Niagara Falls. So y'all have got to go to email them, give them a shout out. We're going to post a flyer on the website, so you'll be able to get all the trip information off of conversationsdeborahfranklin.com, and how to reach them and how to register for this trip. You do not want to miss this. All right, we'll be right back. are back live here in the studio, y'all. We got some good stuff coming up. Now, I told y'all tonight is all about reflection, and we're gonna close this out with next show on January the 28th, which it will be the 3 days after my birthday. 4 days after my birthday, because my birthday is on January 24th. Hint, 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 hint. Yeah, so we want to hear from you guys. But on the 28th, we're going to close out our week of reflection with a vision board party. And we want you to start thinking about what we're going to do it virtually. We're going to do it here live in the studio. So if you want to join us in the studio for the vision board party, you're more than welcome. But at the end of the day, you got to bring your own supplies. So we will be here putting visions to our vision board. But let me tell you what my vision board is going to be about. This time is not, I'm really going to do some serious vision casting, and I'm only going to do my vision board for 1 year. I'm going to put things on my vision board that I want to accomplish this year. What I want to accomplish on the board. Now, some people try to do the 5-year plan. They try to do an extended plan. But this year, I'm going to be vision casting because I feel like this is the year that we're going to be able to accomplish everything that we set out to do. Because remember, I said we have got to make sure in order for it, we have to execute in order for it to manifest. And in order for it to manifest, we got to start looking at what we want, when we want it, and how we want it. So then we're able to move forward. Because if you don't really know what you're striving for and you are being intentional about what you're doing, then guess what? You're not going to accomplish it. So we have to start being intentional. So I'm serious about being intentional about what I'm doing, because even with the 21 days, 21 minutes of prayer and meditation, I told you guys that book was about being intentional. And so in that scope of being intentional, I was intentional. Y'all might think this was something crazy, but I was intentional about not doing fast food for 21 days. Guys, I made it. I had no McDonald's. I had no Burger King. I had no Taco Bell. I felt like I was going in. I thought I was going to have the shakes, but I made it. I made it through my 21 days, because at the end of the day, what they state is it takes 21 days to form a habit. So needless to say, there are going to be some things on that vision board that I'm going to put on there that are going to be dealing with what I want to accomplish in 21 days. Yes, Sarita, SMART goals. And Sarita, yes, exactly. Be intentional. I'm so glad that you agree with that, because we have got to be intentional in this season about what we're doing. So even if you already have a business, even if you want to start the business this year for your vision board, yes, cast your vision for 4, 5, 10 years. But this time, I want you to think about, for all intents and purposes, for next Monday night show, be ready to discuss what you want to accomplish in 1 year. What do you want to accomplish that you can see that we're going to get done, that you can measure from January 20, let's say, 1 year will be January 28th, 2019 to January 28th, 2020. So that's what we want to do. We want to make sure we're going to cast a vision and be ready to report. And periodically through this year, I'm going to be asking for vision board reports. What's happened on your vision board? Because now we're going to be accountable to each other. And what we want to also do, y'all know, I'm accountable to all of y'all. So if I post anything, because I got one thing that I'm going to put on this vision board, Lord have mercy, I'm going to need all of y'all to be accountable. So if anybody see me doing something I'm not supposed to be doing, y'all better say, what? And I'm so serious. I'm so serious about this, because we have got to take ourselves to another level. Because how many of you are tired of being in the same place? How many of you are ready to take what you're doing to another level? I'm not saying that you want to be a millionaire in a year. Not saying that it can't happen, but we are going to set goals that we can know that we can accomplish within this 1 year. I set a goal last year that I wanted to take my speaking engagements to another level. I wanted to be on different platforms, and y'all, it has come to pass. And we're going to talk more about the Cuba trip, because y'all will be able to go with me if you want to go. We're going to talk more about the Cuba experience, but that was a goal that I set out to do, that I wanted to become not only a national speaker, but an international speaker. So start thinking about that. What do you want to accomplish within that year? And be ready to set the goals, be ready to take care of the goals, and be ready to step into your future. All right, guys, we're going to take a quick break, and we'll be right back with you. tonight was supposed to be live in the studio. We were supposed to have this wonderful celebration party, but that didn't happen. For one, it's like freezing cold here. For those of you that don't know, the East Coast, we are like got this weird, crazy weather, cold weather kind of situation going on. It's like 2 degrees. I feel like it's 2 degrees, y'all. For me, anybody that knows me knows if I only usually wear like a baseball cap in the summer. Wintertime, I'm a little odd, and it's like I wear hats because I feel like it, but now I'm wearing a hat because I have to. So y'all, so needless to say, I said all that to say that our guest that was supposed to be in the studio, Mr. Lorenzo Zoe Miller, yes, I did call his whole government name out, was unable to make it with us because he got caught in the weather and now his voice is gone. So needless to say, because he's not here, we are going to play some of our flashbacks because he is a friend of the show. So we're going to play a flashback of him when he was here. I'm not sure which one we have, but the next thing we're going to play this flashback just of him performing live here in the studio.
What's up, everybody? How you doing? We think I'll give you something real smooth. One of my current singles is gonna come out very soon, so we're gonna just do a little something like Let me get something like this. The things he do, you know you don't deserve it. The way he treats you, he's not the one to spend your life with. He's hurting you, even though it doesn't show. I'm only telling you the things you have to know, that you got to be strong and let go. Know the one thing that hurts you the most. Pack your bags, girl, and leave here today. Don't look back, girl, everything will be okay. Listen, you are a star, sailing high above the earth. Girl, that's what you are. He doesn't know your worth. Go ahead and cry. It's okay to shed a tear. It's gonna be alright, yeah. As long as you hear that you got to be strong and let go, yeah. Know the one thing that hurts you the most. Pack your bags, girl, and leave here today. Oh, don't look back, girl, everything will be okay. Yeah, yeah. Mr. Higgs, y'all. So you got to be strong and let go of the one thing that hurts you the most. Hey, pack your bags, girl, and leave here today. Oh, Don't look back and everything will be okay. Said, don't look back and everything will be okay. What's up, everybody?
Hey y'all, we are back. I hope y'all like that flash from the past. We getting ready to go a little bit higher. We're getting ready to have our next guest. We are having some weird, crazy difficulties. I think it's the cold, child. The cold is messing. See, even the computer don't want to work in the cold. I know. I got you, honey. That's how it is. See, maybe that's the age of that AI age. They killing us. They killing us. They killing us. So now the AI is trying to tell us we not gonna do this show. The devil is alive. We getting ready to take this joint a little higher. Just so you guys know, you can still purchase books. You can still make donations for the nonprofit, as well as become sponsors for the show. I have to go ahead and share this, y'all. This year, you want to be in the place, and again, we will start back our new segments, and then basically in the next couple of. Okay, she's calling on the wrong phone. Give her the number, because I can't put her on live with this one. So. I'm sorry, y'all. Technical difficulty. Sorry. So with that being said, the Cash App is pinned to the information line. We want you to become a sponsor. We're going to read all of our sponsors next show, because you are direct friends of Conversations with Deborah Franklin. And in order for us to keep the programming that you're seeing, the programming that we got going on, we need your support, and we would like your support. So if you got any questions that we're getting ready to call in and do some things, we want to see you guys. If you have a business that you would like to advertise on the show, make sure that you reach out to us. You can inbox me. You can go to our website. We are actually getting ready to launch a new website too, but the old website is still up. We still get that information. You can email us at info@conversationsdeborahfranklin.com. Again, that email, if you would like to get more information on how to become a sponsor, how to be a guest, or even how to be a co-host, you can do that at info@conversationsdeborahfranklin.com. And we are going to make this thing happen, because we want you to get your voice out and be heard over the airwaves and be able to be recognized. And we will be able to show you what our numbers are. We'll be able to show you what our social media reach is. We'll even be able to show you some of the other shows that we are associated with, because your name goes wherever I go, as well as will be featured on our website and on all of our social media, depending on what you decide to do and what level of sponsorship that you would like to take on. So make sure, join us. We want to hear from you. We want you to be a guest, and then you are the first to hear that we will be doing casting calls within the next couple of weeks. So be on the lookout for that. If you have an interest in politics, sports, food, what doesn't matter, to fill our new segments for our show, we are going to be looking for you. We are in the process of expanding the cast of Conversations with Deborah Franklin. We want you to be a part and join in with us and be able to celebrate and taking the show to another level. So again, if you would like to be on the show, if you would like to be a guest on the show, if you would like sponsorship, whatever you want to know about the show, just inbox us at info@conversationsdeborahfranklin.com. All right, guys, we're going to take another break, and hopefully the machine has warmed up and decided to shake off the cold and shake off the icicles and put on a sweater, put on a hat, some gloves, some earmuffs or something, and start to work so we can get our next guest in live here on Skype with us. Y'all, tonight, I promise you, it's too cold for all this foolishness. All right, guys, we'll be right back with you. are back, y'all. I promise y'all, tonight is going down in history as the cray-cray night of all. We have not had this many technical difficulties, I think, since we've been on the air. And I have had shows where I have frozen, then my guest is frozen, then we were both frozen. But I promise you, we have never had this many connection issues. So y'all forgive us, but thank you guys for that hanging in here with us and joining us. So Sonia, are you there? Eller? We're going to try that one more again. I know we calling to Texas, and Texas got sun, and we got ice. But I think something ought to be done thrown out by now. Okay, I can't hear nothing. I can't hear a doggone thing. I'm about to put her on speaker and be real old school and ghetto fabulous up on here, this good live conversation. Yeah, I'm connected. Am I connected to the right one? That might be why. Y'all, hold on. Honey, y'all better watch out. We going to get this thing right. All right, Sonia, are you there?
Yes,
hey,
I'm
thank
here.
You, Jesus! Thank
Hallelujah.
you! Thank you! I feel like old school now. I feel like I need to bust out in a hymn and run around in circles. Thank you, Jesus! Lord,
Praise
have
the Lord.
mercy. Y'all. Oh, see, now I done knocked over the good iPad. Y'all, I'm sorry. Hey, y'all. Whoever done came in. All right, baby. Thank you so much,
hey, Deborah,
for being patient. Y'all, this is one time I'm glad I got family as a guest. Now I'm hitting the button. Jesus, be offense. All right. All right, girl. Thank you for joining me tonight here live on Conversations with Deborah Franklin. Y'all, I got none other than Miss Sonia Graham. She has written a book, and then she done some other stuff. And it was so funny because I was at home and we saw each other, and she kept saying, we got to talk. And then I'm like, why she want to talk to me? She didn't want to talk to me before, but now she want to talk and making a point of it. And then I saw Sonia Graham released a book, and now she all over the place. I said, that's why she want to talk to me. I feel privileged. I was like, yes.
Yeah, I was trying to give you the inside track, sister.
See? I was like, yeah, she trying to hook a sister up. Y'all, but it's all good. It's all love because actually, in all actuality, we having a lot of fun, but this is family. And y'all, the crazy part about it, it's like we met through her sister who was kind of forced on me, but that's a whole nother show. Because my mother befriends everybody, and she feel like if we close in age, they got to be my friend too. And of course, it ended up we became friends, and that's how the family got connected. But y'all, Sonia, y'all see her picture, y'all. These were the first black people I had ever met from Iowa. I was like, oh my God, there are real black people in Iowa? I did not know that because you never see the black people. I was like, my gosh. But yo,
there's about 5 of us.
Okay, see, I knew it wasn't just me.
I'm joking.
Because I was like, they got
as a matter of fact, there's quite a few of us there. I mean, in our community, we didn't realize there were not a lot in the city as a whole because in our community, there were plenty of us in our schools and our churches and the neighborhoods and all those things. So, and that's why when I moved to Houston, I was a little offended when people said, are there black people there? And I was like, yeah, there's plenty of us there. But now that I've been in Houston, and the numbers that we have of African American here compared to Iowa, I would say yes, I do understand where that question comes from. So yeah, it's not a lot, but there's enough of them to have a community.
Exactly, but you know what? And now that you're from Houston, aren't you getting tired of everybody saying wear your horse or do you have cowboy boots or wear your hat?
Oh yeah,
That's
absolutely.
what I hate the most. I was like, I don't even go to the rodeo on the regular, so I don't even know about wearing no boots. I was never about that life. But
yeah, I haven't purchased those yet. No, I don't have those either.
That is amazing. But y'all, I'm so glad we finally got these technical difficulties figured out. And I want you to tell us tell us about this book that you've written. I fell in love with the title of it when I saw it. But go ahead and tell us about this book.
Okay, so basically this book is an 11-year journey. It started basically one time in my life. A lot of people look up and you say society says that what means happiness is that you have the big house, the big car, healthy children, the marriage, and all those things. But there was a time in my process that I realized that, I looked up and I didn't feel like I was living my life. And in this process, I think in the very beginning, had I written a book before the 11 years, it would have been first a husband bashing book. But in the process, I had to do some self-serve, inner working, and understand that it was what I call passive assimilation was what took place. And that basically means that you have passively assimilated to the dreams, aspiration, and purpose of others.
Wow.
So they could be your children, they could be your spouse, they could be your family, it could be anybody.
You need to say that again. You said passive what?
Passive assimilation is what the phrase that I'm coining.
I had to give you the button on that one. Because that right there that's a mouthful. Because
absolutely,
it's like because we assimilate to so many things, but then we don't realize how many things that we assimilate and we're doing it passively. It's like we just become other things other than what we're supposed to be. So yeah, I'm sorry, that just got me right there.
No, it got me too. That was the hardest part of the book, was having to accept the responsibility for where I was. Mm-hmm. And in this journey in my book, that's what I help the reader do. I help them understand the importance of who they are and maybe how they got where they're at and how to move forward. And therefore, that's why I have the 10 steps to rediscover the real you and your purpose in that journey. But as I go back to the passive assimilation part, one of the things I began to do is ask myself the questions. People ask you if you could go anywhere you want to go, do anything you want to do. Did you have those questions? Could you answer those questions on behalf of yourself? Not so much, but you can answer them on behalf of others. Mm-hmm. You could talk about what your kids want to do all day long, your spouse or whoever, but when it came to you, you really didn't have answers because you were not thinking for yourself. Mm-hmm. And the sad part is, so you think you're living your life, but you're living vicariously through other people. It's more than a notion. It truly can happen.
Exactly, because and I think about that because sometimes I feel like we don't reach our purpose and our destiny because we don't do that true self-evaluation, or like I was talking about earlier, is about we don't really reflect on our lives and what's really happening around us, so we can't live our best life because we haven't even identified who the best we are, the best self we are.
Right, and that's the original blueprint. So what God showed me in the process of this book is that He already gave us everything we needed when we were in our mother's womb. He already, as they want to say, He downloaded you with everything you need, all your gifts, all your talents. And I could truly say that if you operate in your gifts and talents, you will realize and be able to operate and achieve your purpose, because He's given you everything you need, and what you don't have that's in front of you, as you continue through this journey, He will equip you with those things.
And what do you?
And that's how it's been in my life.
Right. And then, so what do you say to people that say, "I don't have a gift. I don't know what my gift is. I don't know what my purpose is." What do you say to that?
Well, in the book, I actually have exercises. This is truly like a workbook. Mm-hmm. And you could read this book cover to cover, but if you really do the work, it takes some time. And if you were to see my personal book, I still have tabs in it. This book it truly ministered to me, but it's truly just going back to when you were a child. When you were a child, and what did you like to do? What kind of game did you like to play? What were you excited about? And the thing that if whatever you talk about all day long, or you do and you lose track of time, those are the things that you're passionate about. And chances are those are the things that your talents or gifts are tied to. If people tell you all the time that you're great at this, or you get compliments for that, well, there's a reason. Because I believe you can learn anything, but what your gifts and talents are, you can't learn those. You're already equipped with those things. And if you operate in those things, I say the money will follow.
You know what? You said a mouthful right there, because so many times we get into things calling it our plan and our purpose, but we're really chasing money as opposed to chasing our dream and then making our dream. My favorite scripture is that your gift will make room for you. And so many times people forget about that. They always say, well, I don't have a gift. But at the end of the day, whatever God has given you, and I totally agree about what you said, is already in you. Because if we start to really operate in our divine purpose, in our divine order, and in that divine order, we're gonna make it to the end. And and I totally agree again. The money will come. So what really we talked about why, but what motivated you to really have the courage to put this experience into this book? You know, what gave you that courage to do that?
Well, what really was what was the eye opener for me is in this journey, I was talking to a lot of people that were experiencing the same thing, and I was like, oh my gosh, I'm not alone. But then I had the opportunity. I'd spoken to my daughter, her track coach, and that's years ago. She's graduated from college now, so it's been years ago. And the coach was like, my goodness, the girls need to hear about this. So I went through the whole conversation with the girls and what that is, and then they seem to identify or to think that their mothers identified to that person that maybe had passively assimilated. And one of the things I asked the girls at the end of the conversation is, I said, raise your hand if you want to be like your mother.
Wow.
So the biggest my heart just dropped because only one girl raised her hand, one or two raised her hand, and it just baffled me. What the girls said, because I asked them why, they said, because we know our mothers love us, they do everything for us, but basically they're the cook, they chauffeur us here and there, they do this and that, they don't do anything for themselves. Our fathers or whatever still go places, they still buy stuff for themselves and all of these things. And it just made me realize that all the sacrifices that we make and say, oh, don't worry about it, I'll get that later, because, it's all about somebody else's happiness. Those very things that you sacrifice, they tend to resent you for them, and they see that as weakness.
Wow.
That's deep. That's deep. And they're saying...
Okay, so we're about in that same age era. Did you see that as well in your mom? Because I know I saw stuff in my mom that I thought was, well, yeah, everybody know that my mom is a giver. My mom does this, my mom does that.
Right.
But I also saw where the sacrifice was different. Because especially having a father that, drove cross country. So I could kind of agree with what they're saying, because it's like, when did they live? And couldn't you agree with that too about your mom? Like, when did they really live their best life? Because it seems like they just gave up everything when the children came. So did you have some of those same feelings as well?
Well, I think you can only give your kids what you have. Yeah. And so I came from two or three generations of mothers that had their kids very, out of wedlock and early. Mm-hmm. And so when you're a teenage mother, you can only give your child what you have. So then they're those caregivers, they're everything for their children. Mm-hmm. And so then they don't have that mindset that, this life is for me as well. It's like this sacrifice is for these kids, and whatever it's going to take for them to do what they need to do, that's what I have to do.
Exactly.
And I think that just goes on generation after generation. But what we don't understand is if we don't fulfill our purpose, the graveyard is full of purpose.
Wow.
Because each one of us we have an intricate part of the big picture. Mm-hmm. And if one person doesn't fulfill that thing, it's going to make it harder. Doesn't mean it's not going to happen, because we know for God, things don't go void, right?
Right.
And if he doesn't give it to you, he's going to give it to somebody else, but why not you?
Exactly.
And one of the things in this book that I would like to talk about that really where I am in my life and where the transition really happened is that I realized people talk about faith all the time, right? Mm-hmm. And faith is one of those things that it's easy to talk about, but it's so hard to follow. But for me, I described it as what I'm in now at this stage of my life is in the trunk, and I call it in the trunk kind of faith. Mm-hmm. And what that means is people say, Jesus, take the wheel, and Jesus is driving. Well, we know truly God is driving, but however, he doesn't force himself on us, right?
Right.
So he's a God of free will, gives us choice. Well, I honestly realized that I have not been a model passenger. Mm. When Jesus is driving, I'm in the passenger seat telling him, no, don't go this way, go that way, and no, I'm not prepared to do this, and I don't have this, and all of this other stuff. So I'm saying, I've spent enough of my life in the passenger seat, not being a model passenger. I don't even trust myself in the back seat. I'm getting in the trunk. And then in the trunk, I don't care how bumpy it is, what I hear, what I don't hear.
Mm-hmm.
The faith that I'm operating in now is that when he opens that trunk, that number one, he's already prepared what's out there, and he's prepared me for it. And I'm going to have the faith to jump out into it for whatever it is.
Wow.
So that's where I am right now.
I love it, cause I'm gonna tell you right now, like somebody told me. The first time I talk about this trunk faith, I'm gonna give you credit. The second time, I'm gonna say it's my friend or a relative, and the third time, I'm just gonna let you know it's gonna be mine, because I really
there's already a book. I'm writing in it already. I'm already starting it, girl.
Too bad. You better trademark that trunk faith, honey, because if you in the trunk,
I'm already writing it.
Yeah. But it's like if you in the trunk, that's like really, really, really letting God take the wheel, because you not paying attention to nothing. You can't see nothing. You don't know what direction you going in. You just going along for the ride. So I love it. Well, we are running out of time because we had all those wonderful technical difficulties earlier. And I blamed it on the cold. So yeah, I did. I didn't blame it on the alcohol. I blamed it on the cold and icicles falling off of everything. But what I do need you to share, how can people get your book? Wait a minute. Now, the other thing before we go, you got a publishing company. So if somebody wants to publish a book, how can they contact you to publish their book? And how can they contact you to get the book as well? Get your book.
Okay. So for the publishing part of it, right now, what I'm doing is more educating, more so than taking on clients, because I'm a new publisher and I want to make sure that I have the skills and the capability and the bandwidth to do what I would need to do successfully for them. However, I am putting workshops together, and the difference in my workshop, there's so much information out there where people give you just a million things to do, but you go home and you still don't know what to do, right?
Exactly.
But what I'm doing is putting Come Write a Book workshops together. So basically, they're going to be modules, and if you follow the modules, you could take your time, go as fast, as slow as you want. By the time you finish those modules, you'll have a book.
Awesome.
So that's what I'm working on my publishing side as a publisher. But to get the book, you go to Sonya, it's SONYIA, Graham, GRAHAM.com. And that's how you can get the book. Right now, you can order the book online, and you will get a signed copy of it personally from me. I'm still fulfilling my orders because I want to connect with my audience. And then in the next few weeks, it will be available on Amazon. I am pre-selling my Staying True to Your Original Blueprint. That book is geared more to the younger audience to keep them from disappearing and experiencing passive assimilation.
Awesome, awesome, awesome. Thank you so much for joining us, Sonya. We definitely going to have you come back because we want to talk more about what you're doing, and we're going to test stuff out, and we're going to make sure that it's right. So, all right, my dear.
Thank you.
Love you to life. Have a great one.
Take care. Thank you so much for having me on.
Well, all right, guys, this is another show in the books. We want you to look forward to next week. Get your stuff together for our virtual vision board party. I can't wait to see you. Remember, we are making intentional plans for 2019. Get ready. We're going to cut the paper, glue it down, but most of all, we're going to make it happen. All right, guys, follow us on all social media at Conversations Deborah Franklin, as well as go to our website and let us know what you think of the show. We want to hear from you. ConversationsDeborahFranklin.com. All right, guys. Love you to life. Peace.